Good morning, hello, and happy Tuesday, crafty friends. How are you doing today? Welcome. It is time for another tea time, which means it's time for another release at Tailored Expressions. And I'm excited you're joining me today. So as you are hopping on, let me know in the comments. Say hello. Let me know what you've been up to. Are you enjoying any spring weather near you? What are you crafting for? What do you have spread all over your desk right now? If you're anything like me, it's messy. If you're not and you clean up after every project, then amazing kudos to you. But my desk is usually messy, or I shouldn't call it a desk. My craft area where I do my crafting here at the office is usually a big mess, and that's okay. Creativity happens in chaos, at least for me. So I hope you guys are doing well today, and we're gonna say hi to some people as you're hopping on. Good morning, Sarah, over in Chile, Ohio. Good morning, Paula, a beautiful day in Louisiana. Hello, Heather, good to see you here today. Paula's playing with the Nature's Canvas kit, just got it yesterday. That's awesome. Oh my goodness, that one sure snuck up on us as far as popularity. We did end up opening a pre-order for that kit, which we don't do. Can't really remember the last time. It was probably at least 2 years ago that we opened up a pre-order for a kit, and you guys certainly responded. That was a favorite. So if you're waiting on a pre-order for that, know that we are working hard behind the scenes to get those products ready for you guys. And in the meantime, we have lots of fun new things coming that you can get crafty with while you wait for your Nature's Canvas kit. So today we are going to talk about Flit and Flutter. That is the name of our release. If you were part of our class at the Crop and Create event, so this was put on by Scrapbook and Cards today at the end of March, and we taught a class for that, and it included a stencil design that we used for that class, and we are now excited to make that available for our entire audience. If you were at that class and you received the stencil and some other goodies in your event materials, then I hope you'll pay close attention, because we do also have some additions to that collection, things that were not available for you guys when I taught that class for Crop and Create. So little something for everyone, and I'm going to talk about the promotion that we have for you guys first. And I'm going to throw this graphic up here so that you can see it in words. When you purchase any item from the Flit and Flutter category on our website, you are going to get a coupon for 25% off one TE Made For Me stamp. So something you might not know about Tailored Expressions, we actually manufacture all of our own rubber stamps, which gives us the ability to do some personalizing for you guys. So if you want a personalized custom stamp that says handmade by, and you get to enter your details, we have lots of options on our website, temadeforme.com. And you can go check those out, wait for your coupon to arrive with your shipment, and then you're going to get 25% off any one stamp. Plus, if you are a customer of TE Made For Me and you've seen what we have to offer there, then just know that we have some new stamps that launched today. Yay! I know, and he's excited about that. So yes, we did just launch a couple of new stamps to coordinate with the Flit and Flutter collection. So if you like the designs that we have, then check out temadeforme.com and you can grab something that coordinates specifically with the designs in this stencil. So kind of exciting and fun. Let's say hello to a few more people. Marilyn's here in Michigan. Hello, Bonnie. Roxanne in Southwestern Oregon. Hi, Louise. Louise, you have at least 4 personalized stamps so far. I love that. There's a little something for everyone in there. So sometimes you want maybe a little bit of a snarky message on the back. So we have some snarky personalized stamps, some funny ones, some that are just say handmade by and your name. So lots of different options. I know Susan, she has always talked about having a stamp that says handmade by mom. She makes a lot of cards for her girls, and she said, I always feel a little odd stamping handmade by Susan on the back. So if you want one that says handmade by mom or grandma, you get to pick whatever that text is that goes into that stamp. So check out temadeforme.com. If you're purchasing from this release, then just wait for that coupon to arrive with your order and you'll get 25% off any one stamp. And that is only a one-time use, so you'll need to be logged into our TE Made For Me website in order to use it, and it is separate from our Tailored Expressions website. So if you don't have an account there, you will need to create one. All right, should we get to talking about the beautiful Flit and Flutter products?
Yes!
Okay, Whitney says yes. We have already done our product reveal for this week, and I know we usually pop that link into the comments if you want to hear Whitney and I talk through all of the products. You can also head to our website and check out that Flit and Flutter category, and you will find all of the new products that we're releasing. So I'm not going to talk through everything because I want to have lots of time to get crafty with you guys today. But I do want to touch on a few things. We did get some new design team samples since we did that video last week. And so I'm excited to share with you some new things the design team has created. And we're going to talk about something brand new at Tailored Expressions, simple gifting collections. So I'm excited about that too. Let's get started. Okay, design team samples. They are using I'm going to just show this off because it is the star of the show. It's the star of the release. This is the Flit and Flutter Create in Quad stencil. So you get to create those 4 panels by having this large layering stencil. And we're going to use this on the live today. So if you've never used our Create in Quads, I'm going to show you how to use it and make those 4 panels. They're all a little bit different, featuring hummingbirds, butterflies, regular birds, and some flowers as well. So our design team samples use these items along with some of our new products that we have released to go with it. Look at this beauty. This one is from, I think Jen Schultz created this one. Does that sound right? Let's look at the back here. Yes. Jen actually created this pairing of cards using our Breezy ink collection. So we have done some new ink collections for you guys, some ink bundles that you can purchase. So we have those curated colors that you can have confidence will look great in this or blended in this quad. So these are super pretty from Jen. She used several of the dies to cut out the elements and then rearrange them on her projects. Then we have a couple more here. Amy Coling sent in a pair of beautiful cards using some new dies. Now these dies were not available at the Crop and Create event. So we have some butterfly dies and hummingbird dies that were created with this artwork theme in mind. But if you just love die cutting, then you can create the same butterflies and hummingbirds from the stencil using die cut cardstock. So you can see she popped those butterflies. I love how she left the wings up so that they look like they're just fluttering in and among those flowers. And then the hummingbirds are really pretty. You can die cut those pieces of cardstock and kind of piece them back together to create that pretty colorful wing and tail feathers. So, so pretty. And speaking of birds, Whitney, I think I told you this. I was here over the weekend dropping some things off, and there was a wild turkey in our parking lot.
Yes!
Wild turkeys are amazing. They are huge. I had to do a Google image search to see what this big bird was because I wasn't expecting a turkey in our parking lot. So anyway, that has nothing to do with hummingbirds or butterflies, but it is a type of bird, and I thought it was interesting. So a couple of beautiful cards from Amy. And then let's take a look at another one. So this is one that I created using those same dies to piece together the hummingbird. Now the only thing different about mine is I cut all of my cardstock in white and just pieced it back together so it has that detail to the wing and the tail feathers. And I added some blending around the outside of those hummingbirds and paired it with our fancy florets. This is a stamp that's been in our collection for a little while. It has a coordinating die to cut around it, and I thought it was just perfect for these hummingbirds. So really, really pretty options and samples from our design team. Make sure you check out our website. Under all of the products, there are different samples that you can get inspired by. You can also check out the Tailored Expressions blog and see designer samples there and get links to their blogs where they share even more information with you. So one of the things I wanted to make sure everybody's aware of are those simple gifting collections that I mentioned earlier. So this is something brand new that we have done for this release because we love to gift a set of cards, and I want to make it easy for everybody to do that. I think everybody should benefit from being able to send a handmade card. And so if you have a friend or a family member who loves to send cards but maybe doesn't make them, you can make the cards for them and give them a beautiful gift set of cards to send out. So we have 3 different colorways for our simple gifting collection. This one is Cheery, and this is actually the one we're going to use to blend the quad today. And then we also have Breezy. This is the one that was used at the Crop and Create event if you were attending that. And then the last one is called Dreamy, and this one features some beautiful pinks, purples in a lovely pastel combo. So what is included in a simple gifting collection? I'm going to show you here. So it is everything you need minus the blended quad stencil. So all you need to do is blend that quad stencil, attach it to the card bases, and you have this beautiful gift set that you can give to a friend or family member. Each gift set or gifting collection comes with an A2 clear card box. That's how I like to package up my gift sets when I give them. And it includes enough supplies to make 4 cards. So you've got 4 card bases here. In this collection, you've got guava and blue cheese. And they are all top fold card bases. All of the panels in this quad are vertically oriented. And then you have plain cardstock, sugar cube cardstock that you can place on the inside of the cards. Now, if you have our insiders panels, you can do that as well. We just included blank sheets because a lot of times I like to allow the recipient to choose what sentiment they're going to place on the front, and then having the inside blank gives them the ability to write whatever they want. And then we have 4 envelopes in a color that coordinates with your card bases and the rest of the collection. Then this little glassine bag. So as I mentioned, I like to gift sentiments with my set of gift cards so that the recipient can place them onto the card based on whatever they need in that time. So I actually don't put a sentiment on the finished cards when I gift them, and that's why we've included this small glassine bag and this pre-cut foam strip adhesive. Our new sentiment strips are perfect for cutting apart with your mini strips and then just putting a bunch of different sentiments in that bag with those pieces of adhesive and then sticking that right into the gifting collection so they can decide what they want to put on the front. Then we have 4 envelope seals here. You get 2 of the butterfly and 2 of the hummingbird, and those match the different collection colorways. And then to make sure that this is packaged up beautifully, you have a belly band that has already been cut and scored for you. So you'll just fold it on those score lines, and it's designed to fit perfectly around the outside of your clear card box. We have this label shape then that you would thread your belly band through before you place it around the box. And then this sticker that says just for you is done in the same colorway that you can stick on the front of your label and finish it off. What does everybody think of these?
They're so excited.
I'm so excited about these gifting collections, and I hope that all of the hard work that went into preparing these for you guys is something you will take advantage of and really have fun gifting these in different colorways. Now, one thing I didn't mention, or maybe I did and I just can't remember, that's entirely possible. But we do have ink collections, so you can get these different colorways in either full-size or mini ink cubes in the Cheery, Dreamy, and Breezy collections. So if you're collecting our inks, this is a great way to get started. Pick your favorite color combination, and you have what you need to get started with this stencil. So I'm gonna pull out my stuff and start getting crafty.
Woo, woo!
What do you think?
I love it. I can't wait to show what you're gonna do.
Okay, I'm gonna pull out my stencil. This is how I store my quad stencils as well as any of the coordinating products that go along with it. So I have the dies that coordinate here. I have the stencil itself. I have any foilet panels are in the back. And then if I have extra pieces that I've blended and not actually made into cards, I will put those in there as well. And I have everything inside one of our simple storage pouches that has the binder holes along the side so you can store it easily in our big binder. For right now, I'm going to pull out the stencil and we'll put the rest of this stuff back inside. I am going to use these dies as well, so we are going to keep those out. I am going to grab my cardstock. I have a piece of sugar cube and we will be blending this today in the Cheery collection. Now, if you have the Tailored Expressions glass board, you will see we do have some markings on here for quad stencils. So I'll go ahead and follow those. I do like to tack down my cardstock on my glass board just so I know it's not going anywhere. And today I'm going to be blending on an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. There are a couple different schools of thought when you use a quad stencil. You can blend onto an 8.5 by 11 and you're going to actually blend the squares. And then when you're done, you need to cut 1/4 inch off of all 4 sides of your blended panel, and then you can cut it into quarters. Now, the other school of thought is you start with a smaller piece of paper, 8 by 10.5, and arrange that behind the etch markings on your stencil. If you see, if I can get it in the light, there, you can see that line around the top. You would place your panel behind that and then move each layer accordingly until you get done. And then you don't have to cut off the edge around the outside. You can simply cut it down the middle and across. But I'm gonna do it this way because I don't think I've actually taught it before to the Tailored Expressions audience in this way. So let's go ahead and grab some teal tape. This is layer 1 of the stencil. I can see the number etched into the bottom corner, and we'll tack that down and get our first ink color out, which is pink champagne. Okay.
Got your blending muscles ready to go today?
I sure hope so. I know, we talk about how blending can be kind of like an aerobic workout. Depends on, you know, how fast you want to go, how much you want to challenge yourself to get it done. I am kind of with Heather on this, where we tend to be fast blenders, especially if this is something you have seen me do many times before. I know we always have some new people here, so I'll hit on my tips and tricks, but we do a lot of blending around here. So
I'm planning on creating my own blending with Whitney exercise video. How to warm up your blending muscles.
Yes.
Get ready.
I know, stretch that blending arm before you get started.
Warm up your wrists.
Round and around and around before you get started with your blending. Just make sure you're stretching.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, my first thing, and it might be obvious, but just in case, I have done it before where I have forgotten to blend inside of the alignment squares. And so just make sure, especially since there's no design over here that you really need to get ink over there, you have to make a special effort to get the ink over in that area. So make sure you're doing that, or you can also mark it with a pencil or a pen or a marker. Just make sure you have some kind of alignment inside of those squares so that the next time we pull this layer off, it'll make it easy to line up. So that was layer 1 with pink champagne. And then we have guava, which we're gonna hit this with just what I call a dimensional blend using a smaller blender brush. This is one of our bitty blender brushes. You can also use our detail blender brushes. And we're just gonna give that a little bit of a shading on these areas. Now, when I'm picking colors and where to start, I will often lay out all the layers of the stencil in front of me and pick which layers make the most sense to be in each different color. And with this particular stencil, I have found that I'm paying attention to the flowers and the butterflies and making the colors of those flower petals kind of similar within the same color family. So this first layer is pinks. And then we're going to move to our next layer. Layer 2. So let's go ahead and peel that up. The first one isn't super grand as far as the big reveal goes, but with each stencil it gets a little better as we continue to add color. Now we can see those alignment squares as we move to the next layer. We're going to take those same alignment squares and line them up with our blended squares. You should be able to see the design kind of fall into place. There are some areas that are intended to overlap, which is what makes this stencil so pretty, because those areas that overlap really give it that almost watercolored effect. And I love that. Okay, this next layer, we're going to do blue cheese. Looks like there have been several questions about the envelope seals. I think Whitney's been answering those, but I'll just say it out loud so everybody knows. The envelope seals, the question is, are they going to be made available for purchase separately from the gifting collections? And right now we don't have plans to do that. But we will take that into consideration, of course. So right now the only way to get those coordinating envelope seals is with the gifting bundles. Okay, so I'm doing a light hand of the blue cheese. As I'm blending this across, I am blending in a circular motion, and I'm going in both directions, clockwise and counterclockwise, to hit all of the edges of those stencil openings. Okay. Now, once we've done that light blend, we're going to do the dimensional blend again with a bitty blender brush and just a little bit more concentrated application of the same ink color is going to give us dimension on these areas. That's what I love about blending. With just one color of ink, you can get a light, a medium, and a dark tone out of the same color. Of course, you'll see me often combine two completely different colors because you get even more dimension in that case, but I do love being able to use the same ink pad to create that dimension. Okay, we're on to layer 3. Layer 3 of speed blending with Taylor. This stencil, this quad stencil, does have 5 layers, which we do have, I think, one other quad stencil that has 5 layers. But that's a little bit unique for us. Typically our quad stencils are 4 layers. But I love having that extra layer for the floral leafy portions and for the birds and hummingbirds' eyes and beaks. Okay, so this third layer, use our teal tape again, and this third layer is going to be guava. So mostly guava with a dimensional blend of one of my favorite colors lately, passion fruit. Love it. I'm using it on everything. And guess what? It's purple.
What?
I know. I have an affinity for purple these days. Find myself thinking, you know what that would look really good in? Purple. I even have a purple shirt at home.
Look at you.
I know.
This is what growth looks like.
Oh, Whitney, you make me laugh. This is what growth looks like. Okay. Keep going.
Rachel says guava has become one of her favorites.
Ooh.
Join our guava club.
Yes, guava has been a long-time favorite of mine. I love that it's got that pinky coral look. Not too orange, but more of a pink red. Okay, so we did guava. And now we're going to do the dimensional blend with passion fruit. So this is a darker ink color, and you'll see me tap onto the plastic of the stencil material because I want to make sure that I'm not getting too intense, too much color when I blend it into the stencil opening. So I'll just kind of take that ink from this area where I pounced it and then pull it onto the area that I want to blend into. And that's going to help me just keep it a little bit less intense. This process, the dimensional blending, is one you don't want to rush because you can always add more ink, but once you put it down, you cannot take it away. So take your time adding these darker elements. Okay, we're getting there. It's been fun to see since we released this stencil, just people's stories about what these elements mean to them, especially the hummingbird. I've seen a lot of people say that that was a special bird that their mother enjoyed watching or collecting or those kind of things. So that's been kind of fun. Okay, I feel pretty good about the dimensional blends we added here. So let's go ahead and remove layer 3. It's going to get a little more exciting now with each passing layer because we're going to start to see those designs really come together. Look at that. It's getting pretty. Okay, layer 4 then. And line up those alignment squares. Whoops, I didn't quite get that one tacked down to the glass board, so we'll come back over here. All right, then this next layer is going to be just passion fruit on its own, and it is a more intense color that, again, you want to be careful of, but we do want it to do its job by kind of being one of the heavier colors in the design. Ooh, Nicole says she loves our inks. I bought the whole ink cube collection you offered. Best decision ever. That's great to hear. I do love working with our inks, the way that they blend together seamlessly and look even better after you've walked away for maybe 10 minutes and you come back, and whether you've stamped it or blended it, the ink just kind of melds seamlessly together. All right, we're we're getting there. One last layer after this, and then we're going to make a couple of cards. We're not going to make all 4 cards today because, you know, I try to keep it to about an hour. We'd be here a little bit longer if we were trying to do more than that. So I'll have some more tips on how to finish these off and just ideas, of course, for even more ideas and inspiration. Check out the website because the design team did some amazing things.
I know, yes.
Cutting out the elements and combining them with products already in our collection and rearranging them into unique layouts. I just love it. Okay, feel good about that. You could add a dimensional layer with even darker passion fruit if you wanted to. I'm gonna peek and see how I feel about this and see. I feel pretty good about that. I don't think I need to add a dimensional blend on the passion fruit layer. So we'll pull that one off and we've got one more to go. Oh, I was reading Susan's comment. Susan M says that her sister and she love to watch hummingbirds and that her sister has way more hummers in Illinois than she does in Minnesota. And I don't know, I thought of the car. Originally, I read that part of the comment first and I thought, you're watching hummers on the street go by. We don't have very many hummers here.
I don't see that many.
No.
Someone else said they have 6 and I was like, wow, I don't think I've ever seen that many in one sitting.
I suppose if you have like a bird feeder and maybe there are certain bird foods specifically for hummingbirds that attract them. I'm sure our bird people out there would know. All right, so this last layer, we're going to do a couple different ink colors on this because I want my bodies of my butterflies to be in gray. So I have Earl Grey ink for those. And then on the opposite quadrant, I have beaks and eyeballs for my birds that I would also like to highlight with gray. These little openings are very tiny, so a smaller blender brush would probably be a good option too if you have one of our detail brushes and you can really get in those tiny little holes to highlight those eyes and beaks. And then a couple last things before I put the Earl Grey away. We have one butterfly in this design, so I'm just going to go ahead and put a little ink there on the butterfly body. And then we have our 2 hummingbirds here that have the eyeballs on them. So we'll go ahead and blend that. I'm actually going to grab my detail blender brush and show you guys how easy that is with just kind of really keeping your ink concentrated right over the top of that little eye opening, and then you don't have a bunch of gray ink on the background that you're trying to avoid. And the next one, or the last one I'm going to do, is green tea. So green tea ink is going to be the centers of our flowers and our flower stems on the top left and bottom right quadrants. And if you need to, you can grab a bitty blender brush for these as well. Bitty or detail. Okay, we're almost done. Time for the big reveal.
I was going to say, you blended through quite
Did I do it quickly?
Yes!
Okay, well my arm is not
amazing.
sore, so I must have some
Muscles.
blending muscles built up from all of my blending.
I still need to do that because sometimes when I'm blending, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of jiggle there. My arm is just so sore. Need to get those muscles worked up.
All right, here we go. Here it
Woo!
is. Look at that. So this is the Cheery collection of inks that we used. If you want to go back and look on the website later, you can find that ink bundle that will tell you all the colors that we used to blend this quad today. So I am going to grab and show you how we can cut this apart now. As I mentioned, the first thing when you're using an 8.5 by 11 sheet, the first thing you need to do is cut a 1/4 inch off of all 4 sides. So we're going to take this and just line it up in our paper trimmer. You should see, if you have that cutting line to follow, you should see that those squares are on the outside of the cut line. And then you can simply take off 1/4 inch. And then we'll turn it. This side does not have any squares on it. Just make sure you have it at a 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch. This side. And then the last side. So the cutting is very important. After you've done all this beautiful blending, you don't want to mess up the cutting. And we have made that as easy as possible by designing the stencil perfectly so that if you make your cuts just the way you're supposed to, you shouldn't have any alignment issues. So now we are left with this piece that we're going to cut in half both directions to end up with the 4 panels. So if you've done your 1/4 inch off the sides, you should be left with an 8 by 10.5 piece. So if you think about half of 8 is 4. So we're going to make our first cut at 4. Pay attention to that cut marking when you lay it down, and then cut. Now we'll turn this. If this is 10.5, half of that is 5 1/4. So these are being cut into A2 layers that are 4 by 5 1/4. There's 2. And then we'll do this one as well. All right, there they are. 4 panels. Now these are so pretty just the way they are. So if you don't want to do anything to these, put them on the card bases in those simple gifting collections and just gift as they are. But if you like to add a little bit of extra, I know we have a problem with that around here. Just one more thing. Just one more thing is what we always talk about as we're creating. But if you like to add a little bit extra, you can do that as well. So I'm actually going to take these 2 panels and we are going to set them aside. I did want to mention that there is a die for this panel. It is a full cutting plate die that's going to cut out all of the birds in that background. And you can do some really fun techniques with that. Let me show you one of the projects that I created using that die as a template. So I actually cut out all of the birds, and then I placed that template back over a blended and splattered card base, and I popped those birds right into the openings. So you can use it like this as a template, or you can do things like Jen and the design team did, where they cut out those birds. Here's one from Lori, where she cut those out and arranged them around a sentiment. Then you can get even more cards out of that one panel when you take those individual birds and split them up. So lots of ideas for that one, but we're going to take these 2 and set them aside. And we're going to create with these. I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to go ahead and cut out the elements from that background. So we have the coordinating die set. In this die set, you get the dies to cut out the flowers and the butterfly. And then also in the same set, you get the dies to cut out the 2 hummingbirds. So we picked the most kind of approachable items to cut out. Could we have done an edger die to cut out these flowers? Yes. But in some regards, we just thought about what is the easiest and best, most achievable way to cut things out, and those are the dies that we provided for you. So let's go ahead and do some cutting.
Apparently we need to get some sugar water.
Oh, is that what hummingbirds like?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you think Henry would like to see him? He probably wouldn't focus.
He probably wouldn't look at them.
They're so fast.
They are.
Woo!
It is kind of amazing to watch them. Speaking of birds again, I have a bird problem, and maybe we can crowdsource this here because I feel like it happened to you last year too.
Okay.
So we have this sunroom off of our family room, and it's Henry's playroom. And we have a robin there who has been around for probably a week, and it constantly flies into the windows.
Yes.
And I feel bad for it. We went and we looked for a nest. We looked for, like, is it protecting something?
Sure.
Do I just let it keep flying into the window? It sounds like clunk, clunk. Like
I know.
I go look to see,
sad.
like, did it die? But it seems almost like it's looking for something. We thought maybe there was like a reflective toy or something in the playroom, but there's not. So I know you had it with a bird in your
a cardinal that taps on our window every day.
Okay.
Tap, 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 tap. But when we have had them fly into our windows, and what our neighbor told us was to put up decals.
Oh.
So they can't see. Sometimes it's the reflection on the window. They can't see it, and so they keep running into it.
Yes.
So maybe he wants some stickers for the windows?
Maybe
like
Henry can put stickers up.
Yeah, like the gel cling stickers that they have. He might try to eat
I mean,
that,
it doesn't bother us, but I just feel bad. Like it's trying to tell us something, like I want in here, or
I want to play.
Or it's protective of its nest, but I don't see a nest. So, yeah. Okay, while I have this out, I am going to let me know. Okay, Kathy says we need the decals on the windows. Okay. It seems like it's doing it on purpose. The robin may see another bird that's a threat to its territory. Okay. And she also said you can put stickers on the window that warn them that it is a window. I'll have to look around for those stickers because I do feel like, you know, we thought, oh, it'll figure it out and it'll just leave, but it's not leaving. So I don't want it to keep doing that. That was my bird story recently. But we also recently saw a blue jay in our backyard. Maddie found it. She's like, look at that blue bird in the tree. So we watched that for quite a while. We should probably put up some kind of feeder because we do have a lot of trees back there that I think birds would come to.
Mom got me one for my birthday last year. So
Yeah.
if you want one, the one she got me was so great. You should just
And
ask
you
for
guys
that.
use that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe
And
that'll
our
be my
cardinal-
birthday present.
I know.
It's a perfect
great
summer
idea.
birthday present. Okay.
Our
I love
cardinal
that.
comes back every year. Same tree for the last 3 years. Last year he bought his birdie girlfriend.
Oh!
Yeah, we were like, oh!
There's 2 of them now.
Yep.
Oh. I love this conversation we're having about birds.
They are really gorgeous to watch.
Okay, so I've done my die cutting. Let's go ahead. Actually, I don't want to put this away yet. So the fun technique that I want to show you guys today actually uses our freebie embossing folder. So when you purchase $100 or more this month, the month of April, our freebie is 2 embossing folders. So this is one of them. It's called Halftone Dots, and it creates a really fun texture on your cards. So I'm going to show you how to use this in maybe a little bit different way with this particular quad. We also, the other embossing folder that's part of the $100 freebie is called Swiss Dots. And those are gonna be just some really great embossing folders for a lot of, I mean, they're very basic that you're gonna use them a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna do some embossing. So I took out this thin die adapter pad, and I'm going to place my clear pad back in, and then I have this. And first one we're going to do is take our flowers that we die cut and place them into the folder. Okay, and then we'll close that and send it through. Okay, here we go. Beautiful texture on there just by itself. Look at how fun that is. It looks like and feels like a fun fabric or canvas almost.
I love it.
I think it's cool. Okay, we're gonna do this panel as well and do the same treatment to the flowers that are left on this panel. So we'll go ahead and put that in next and send it through. Oh, Mary's asking, when is my birthday? My birthday's in June. We're gonna do something special for my birthday this year around here. A fun birthday themed release. So that'll be fun. And okay, here are these two pieces then. Now I think we can move this out of the way. This might be a tool that you haven't seen much before. Actually, I think Susan might have used it on her live last week with a different purpose. So sometimes when you're cutting more intricate dies, you might have, let's just say, what does she call them? Like feathers or something on the edges of your die cut. And this is our teal sanding block that can get off those little stray pieces that are left when you die cut something. But the other cool thing it can do is sand your embossed images. So we've already applied color to our paper, and behind that color is white cardstock. So in order to draw out this pattern that is embossed even more, we're gonna take this teal sanding block and we're gonna sand over the top of those dots. And then when I hold this up, you're gonna see that that has revealed the white cardstock behind our colored blending and given this stamp or this stencil piece even more texture. Okay, let me hold it up and show you. Look at that. It almost looks like white ink over the top, but all we've done is rub off that top layer of blended cardstock to reveal the white behind it in that embossed design. And let's go ahead and do that up here with these flowers as well. Now when you do this, I'm just holding it kind of parallel to the surface of the cardstock and doing that kind of rub across the surface. You don't want to really push. You don't want to get down into the depressed areas. You only want to hit the top layer of that embossed design. And then you'll see those dots kind of drawn out.
That looks awesome.
Isn't that fun? Okay, let's put together some cards. So another item that I decided to bring into this collection when I was using these products is the wood slice background. This is one I haven't used for a while. It is this big round wood slice. And we're gonna set it up here. Pick that up with our Misty. Go ahead and put some adhesive on our panel here. I'm going to stamp this directly onto my blue cheese card base with sugar cube ink. So let's go ahead and place this down. So you can see there are in the corners, you're not going to have that wood slice stamp, which I like. We're going to pick it up just like this. And then in order to stamp this, because it is a card base, I want it to stay closed. So I'm going to grab my removable adhesive for this purpose and just put a little bit of it down so that we can tack that card base down without kind of having any ripping. Once we're done doing our stamping, I'll show you how you can just easily rub that adhesive off with your fingers. And we're going to grab sugar cube ink.
Question about the foil it panel.
Okay.
Debbie would like to know If you use the foil it panel for the Flit and Flutter, which stencil layer does this replace?
Oh, good question. So it replaces, let me make sure I'm answering this correctly. So it adds a lot of detailing around the butterflies and the flowers. I believe the only layer it replaces is layer 5. So you would still use the first 4 layers, and then like the beaks and the eyes of all of the butterflies and the birds and the hummingbirds, those are all part of the stencil design. So you don't have to use layer 5.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. All right, we've got sugar cube, our white pigment ink. I'll grab my just press tool so we can press this down. Hold that up so you guys can see that a little bit better, but a really beautifully detailed stamp there. So we'll pull this off, and then like I said, if you want to remove that adhesive very easily, you just rub over it with your finger and kind of flake it off. And then it's good as new.
I'm gonna scrub that stamp.
Okay, thank you.
Because it's my favorite thing.
Get out the stamp scrubby.
I know.
Okay, we're gonna move on to splattering while Whitney's cleaning our stamp. I'm gonna grab my splatter box, and we're gonna do both of these pieces. And I am going to be splattering with the Gansai Tambi Starry Colors palette. So these are beautiful metallic watercolors that I pretty much primarily only use for splattering. And am I missing it, Whit? I don't think I have a dropper. Do you have a dropper?
Yes, let me grab it.
Thank you. I use the eyedropper bottle just with some regular water, and I'm going to go ahead with this yellow gold little palette here, this one. This is the one I use the most, the blue gold on the end. It's almost gone, so we're going to start loving the yellow gold a little bit more. Put 3 to 4 drops of water in there and just kind of leave it in the palette and mix it around with the watercolor until that water has picked up enough of the medium. And then you're going to take that on your brush. We're going to start our splatter off to the side here, so maybe the first big drops of splatter are going to come off of the brush before we bring it onto the actual piece that I'm trying to splatter. That keeps those big blobs from going on your cardstock. I've also started to find more lately that I have a lot more control when I splatter by tapping my finger on the brush instead of tapping my brush on my finger. So I've kind of changed that myself recently, and I just encourage you to explore too. I know people are, splatter can kind of have less, you feel less control, and for some of us crafters, when we don't feel like we have control, we don't want to do it. So this is one way I have found to get a little bit more control in my splattering. Okay, beautiful. We have beautiful gold splatters on the background of this and on our flowers. So we'll pull those out and kind of let them dry. The other thing I should probably mention about the foilets, we did start doing those a little bit differently. So they are a full piece of 8.5 by 11. So if you have the large mink, you can foil it, blend it, and then cut it apart. If you don't have the large mink, what I would recommend doing is blending first, and then you can cut it apart and foil the panels separately through the smaller mini mink machine. We have found over time, the more we have done testing and trials and playing with this, that blending first doesn't really do anything to the toner. So we have had equally good results whether we blend first or foil first. So I know those of you that have been with Tailored Expressions a long time, you are used to us saying foil first. In this case, it is going to be a-okay if you blend first, cut it apart, and then foil those 4 panels through your smaller machine. Or if you want to stick with the foil first, then you will need to have the large machine. Hopefully that makes sense. Then also to mention, this includes 5 pieces. So 5 8.5 by 11 pieces so that you can make 20 cards. So you would blend your quad 5 times. Each one includes 4 panels, would give you enough for 20 cards. Okay, so let's come back to our piece here, and we're gonna go ahead and put our cards together. We're gonna place that beautiful textured flower over the top of our wood slice, and I'm gonna do that with foam tape. I've got some little pieces here that we can cut apart and use. And I'm just going to throw some pieces of foam onto the flower portions here. And then we're going to use just liquid adhesive on the stems so that, you know, some of those stems are pretty small to try to get a piece of foam adhesive onto. And I don't like to fuss and fight with that. So it's just a lot easier for me to take and put a little bit of liquid adhesive on the back of those and tack them down, because you don't want them to just be flopping around on your card either, or potentially getting caught and ripped. I should have probably removed this before I put the liquid on there, but hopefully I can get it done fast enough before that liquid adhesive dries. All right. Put that down in the corner there. Okay, press those stems down. I am going to add a few dots of liquid adhesive to the centers of these flowers. We probably could have skipped the green blend on those because I am going to add some glitter drops. Gold or yellow glitter drops would be my choice for this. And some of the bigger ones are actually the best for this particular design. So if you don't love using those bigger glitter drops as much, then this is your opportunity because they fit really nicely in those flowers. Let's see, question on those larger foilet sheets, do you have to trim the 1/4 inch off the outer edge first also? Yes, you do. The nice thing about these though is there's actually no alignment squares on the edges of these. Because the design is printed, it's pretty easy to line up those openings in the stencil with the outlines of the artwork that's on here. So there actually is not any alignment square on here, meaning you could just cut it in quarters and use it as a card base piece. But yes, these are full 8.5 by 11, so you would need to trim the 1/4 inch off of the edges. I guess after you blend them, there would be alignment squares on these. So you, either way, need to trim that 1/4 inch off. Somebody asked if you could use the fuse machine, and yes, that is very similar to the Mink machine. It is designed for toner foiling, so if you've got that one, use that. It is great as well. Okay, so I might need Whitney to come find my butterfly for me. I found it. I was gonna say he fluttered away, but I found it. So we'll go ahead and tack that down with a little bit of foam tape so that it's popped up like the flowers. And then I've got my sentiment already done. For this particular card, I used Sundry Sentiments, but many of our other cards use our new mini strips foilets. So you can see on this particular card, we have a new mini strip design that it's a pre-printed one, so you can foil it if you want, or just leave it black like it is here. And this is what I was saying earlier, which is awesome for those gifting collections, that you can simply cut apart an entire set of mini strips and give them to your recipient, who will have lots of options to choose from. If they need a birthday card, a thank you card, a sympathy card, a get well card, lots of options in that one mini strips. So I'm using Sundry Sentiments today, and I went ahead and embossed the Hello There sentiment in white on guava cardstock. And we'll get that tacked down here. Use some of my little foam extras. Tammy's asking a great question. Will there be a stamp on these sentiments? Stay tuned. We have an exciting way for some of those of you that might be taking an event with us this summer. We'll be receiving that as a stamp, and then we'll release it into our collection at a future date. But yes, those are great sentiments. So for now, only available in the pre-printed option, but will be available in the future. Okay, let's finish up that last card then. I've got the guava card base that I'm going to put this onto, and I'll just go ahead and use because I've got it right here at hand, I'll use my TE glue tube to glue this down. Make sure I'm not getting too close to the hummingbird design, but close enough. I want it to stay in place, but I don't want my glue to seep into those openings. Bobby, you guessed it, summer school. And we are still taking signups for summer school. If you have not signed up yet, maybe this is the first time you're hearing about it. I think it's on the Tailored Expressions website under Connect with Us. Yeah. And you can find all of the information there to join us. Summer school is going to be all about foiling, and we have some really fun techniques we're going to be doing. You get so many products when you join us, new things that have never been seen before. So, and then you get early access to new products as well that we'll release during the event, plus discounts leading up to the event. So lots of fun happening at summer school. It's the best kind of summer school.
I know, I can't wait. Because I know all of the things, and I'm like, just please come.
I know.
We're going to have so much fun.
Once everything is finished and we've kind of done all of the design work and, the kits are ready to be prepped and put together, that's when we start to get excited because we know all the fun stuff and we want it now.
Yes.
So I know how you guys feel too, and you're hopefully well spoiled by all of the sneak peeks that we give around here, but I know it's fun to know all the things and know them a little bit early. And so yes, as we get closer to kind of the end of summer school registration, we'll be sharing some of those projects with you and that kind of thing. So okay, I'm just cutting up little pieces of foam tape so that we can tape these birds, pop them up within the die cut areas that we die cut them out of, but we're going to offset them just a little bit so that you get to see a little bit of that guava card base behind. And guess what, Whitney?
What?
I went overtime.
How dare you?
No, it's 11:04. I don't think
No one has
anybody's
complained.
I don't think anybody's complaining. Oh, Bobby, I'm not sure. You might want to contact our customer service about that because I haven't had that happen to me before, and I'm not aware of. I should probably check with our manufacturer about freezing in that particular product. We didn't have a particularly cold winter around here, but maybe you did up in Minnesota. Had some freezing days. All right. So as I mentioned, I just offset those birds within the die cut openings so they almost have a shadow of guava around them. And then I'm going to take my other Hello There sentiment from Sundry Sentiments. This time it is stamped on guava cards, or not guava, blue cheese cardstock, and embossed with white embossing powder. Sundry Sentiments is another favorite set that I use a lot, especially when I'm gifting sets of cards because there's a little bit of everything in that set. So we're going to put the Hello There right about here. There we go. Let me clear off the little remnants of my foam tape. Hold these up for you guys to see a couple of options using that quad. I have my original card here that I created also. You can see what it looks like with our Fineline Script stamped onto those flowers. If you can see that, it's stamped in sugar cube and adds just that little bit of extra dimension. And then on this one, of course, we use that embossing folder for the texture in the background. All right, you guys, did we have fun today? I hope so. I hope you learned something new. And if you are new to the Tailored Expressions quad stencils, then we have lots of them in our collection, something for all occasions. We've got birthday and Halloween and Christmas and lots of fun things. So check out Create in Quads if this was your first time seeing it, and join the club because we've got lots of fans of Create in Quads. All right, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Heather, is Heather here this Thursday or is it Susan?
Heather!
I think it's Heather. Yeah.
TBT.
Yes, so it's time for another Throwback Thursday. We're doing those all through the month of April. So last week was our first one. Throwback Thursday just means we're revisiting a collection that was previously available only as a kit. So sometimes those kit items come out later and sometimes they don't. So next week you get to see what product, or actually not next week, this week, on Thursday, you get to see what products we're bringing back into our collection for Throwback Thursday, and Heather will be creating with them and hanging out with you guys. So mark your calendar, 10 a.m. on Thursday. And then Friday, I'm live again on Friday for those of you who joined our combo club. We are shipping to you starting the 15th of April, and our first supersize combo will be available starting on Friday. So I'm going to be live at 10 a.m. to talk you through all the products that only our combo club members have access to. And of course, we'll create together. If you did not get in on the combo club, you can still watch the video. So it will be live right here on our YouTube and Facebook channels. Or are we only doing it on YouTube?
I only have it on YouTube.
I think we're on YouTube. Yeah. So join us on YouTube on Friday. Even if you didn't get the combo club, you can kind of check out maybe what you're missing. And we will have a new sign up period for that coming up in May, I believe.
Yes.
So if you missed out on the first 3 months, you do have the opportunity to get in for that second 3-month period of our combo club. And I can't wait to share with you guys. I'm super excited about it. So